Hello, hello. Well, I got a couple of friends here today. It's Plant and Plant. They've come to join me. So, how do we live an effortless life? And why is putting effort into something actually not a good thing? Everything you've been taught, everything they taught you at school, it's all wrong. How about that? Do you think? All right, well, that's what we're going to be talking about here today, because the art of effortless living is kind of magical, and it's also an awesome place to be. So if you are interested in that, then this is the place to be. Hi, I'm Kylie Ansett. I am the Alignment Whisperer, and I guide seekers of alignment to get empowered connection with their head, heart, and hand, so that they can align with their soul's purpose and live a more fulfilling life. I'm coming to you from beautiful Sydney, Australia, and this is your daily dose of alignment. Now, there's this thing, and you know what? I'm always talking about being busy, and I think effort and busyness are sort of two sides of the same coin. They come from the same place. The energy that's around both of those concepts is the same. It's an energy of striving and an energy of pushing through and forcing and making things happen. Now, it's not to say that a lot of stuff that goes on in the world doesn't come from those places, and definitely the people who are bringing things forth into the world from that place make a lot of noise about it. And so when you look at it and you look at what's created in the world and you look at what's happening, the noisy things is what you hear about, right? That's what you see and hear and connect with. So here's the thing: if that's all that you see and hear, then you kind of believe that that's what it takes to be productive and to create things. But I'm here to blow that myth out of the water, because if you tap into this magical quality, and I only say magical because it's not magic, it's actually just something that's not as common. It's done quietly. It's done behind the scenes. The people who are tapping into this are not out there crowing about it, because it's kind of so effortless that you feel like, well, I shouldn't make a big song and dance about this because it just is too easy. So that's kind of the space that I'm coming from. Let me just do this. No, okay. Yes, that is the space that I'm coming from with this, and I hope that resonates with you, because if it does, then I have got some very good news for you, and that is, it's so much easier than you think. And the art of effortless living is not the art of not doing. It's the opposite of that. It's where you're coming from when you're doing things. That's what we're actually talking about. So I'm really excited to kind of tap into this and share it with you, because once you get in touch with this aspect, then everything you do not only is effortless, but is quite joyful as well. So here's the thing. When you're out of alignment, anything that you do feels like it's effort. It feels like it's efforting. If you're out of alignment, you feel that you need kind of willpower and brute force to make something happen. And rather than thinking, oh, if I don't push myself, if I don't do this thing, that I'm being lazy or I'm not being productive, rather than feeling that way, if you see it as, actually, if it feels that I'm making effort, I'm out of alignment with it, well, that's a completely different take on it, right? That changes the way that you look at it completely. And it then, rather than just pushing more and harder and forcing yourself more, or giving up, which is often the flip side of that, because it just feels so uncomfortable, rather than that, you actually look at, well, how am I out of alignment, and how can I get back into alignment? And if I'm in alignment, then I'm not going to feel this way. I'm not going to feel that it's efforting. Now, what is being alignment in? Oh my goodness. I mean, that's kind of like the $64 million question, right? What is it to be in alignment? Well, here's the thing. Alignment is connection between your head, your heart, and your hands. So between what your mind wants to do and is doing, between what your heart or your kind of soul, your emotions, where they're at, and what your hand is doing, what you're physically actioning in the world. So if you can connect those to your values, then you are in alignment. So many times though, we either don't know what our values are, or we're not living out a life that is aligned with those values. And that's when the effort comes in. That's when we're trying to please someone else. That's when we're doing something because we think we should. And it's not just about doing only what you want and kind of being totally indulgent, because here's the thing, if that doesn't feel good, even though, like, say, being completely lazy and spending all day sitting on the couch kind of eating chocolate and doing nothing, I mean, that in itself is out of alignment, unless it's in alignment for you. But if it feels that this is not the right thing to do, and there's that tinge of guilt, or like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this, well, that's just another sign that you're out of alignment. It's not a sign that it's bad, because if you feel totally at ease and in bliss doing that, then that's in alignment for you, and you should do it. So it is definitely all about hey there, beautiful. It is all about being in alignment so that it's not efforting. Now, living effortlessly does not mean that you're not doing anything. So you definitely are going to be, when you're fully in alignment, the things that you do are still very productive. You're still being out there, being creative, being productive, and doing all sorts of things. Yes, it's true, isn't it? Preach. But you have, this is the magic, when you're in alignment, you actually have access to unlimited resources. And that's what makes it feel so effortless, because when you're out of alignment, all of those resources, you've closed yourself off to them. Just that your ability to perceive them has closed down, because all of your energy and your action, your perception is focused solely on doing the thing that's out of alignment. And so you don't have any space or any ability to even perceive the resources that are there for you. So there they are. They might be right under your nose, but when you're out of alignment, you can't see them. And I know you've done this. I mean, I have too, but it's easier to see it in other people. You kind of look at someone else and you go, what? Like, it's right there. It's in their lap, and they're not taking it up. And it's just, like, it's frustrating to see. But the thing is, if they're not in alignment, if they're not living their values, if they're not living their soul's purpose, then it's just, they're not going to be able to, that ability to see that is not there. That being out of alignment is not there. So when you're in alignment, your productivity is multiplied, and it feels like you're doing nothing. And this is the thing, like I said, the people who are doing a lot, doing the do, and they're out of alignment, and it feels like they're putting a lot of effort in, and they're trying, and they're doing it hard, and they're doing it hard. Yeah, Monica, exactly. They're out of their truth, or they're in their truth. And if they're not doing that, the thing is that these are the people who are saying, well, you've got to go out there and you've got to bust your ass and you've got to do all this stuff. Now, I think most of us know that you can only do that for so long. If you're totally out of alignment, you are not going to be able to sustain that. There's the effort that it takes is coming from a limited resource, and that limited resource is like just a very small pot that people end up getting burnt out. They feel overwhelmed. They feel like they're not really. They get locked in indecision. All of those things. If you've ever suffered from burnout, or you feel overwhelmed, or you feel indecisive, that is just a sign that you're out of alignment. Nothing bad about it. I mean, sure, it's not fun to be in that place, but it's not a judgment. It's just it's an indication. It's something that it's really good to be aware of. And I'm just looking to make sure. Yes, that's plugged in. It's just an indication that my battery, it just suddenly made this thing. I was like, oh, don't be the battery flat, but it's plugged in. So we're good. When you are feeling all those things, all you need to do is just take a little step back and go, okay, where am I out of alignment? How am I not living my values? How am I being disrespectful to my own soul's purpose? Now, I mean, these are big questions, right? Yes, exactly. These are big questions. And a lot of the time we don't take the time to even ask them, let alone answer them. We just live reactively. We do what we do because, we're trying to please someone else. We're trying to live out someone else's dream. We're trying to, kind of do what's expected of us by society. Anyone ever been guilty of that? Actually, no, I shouldn't put my hand up. I haven't done that too often. But I know the feeling when you're not doing it. You're like, is there something wrong with me? And the thing is that if you start asking these questions about, well, what really are my values and how can I align my values with how I'm showing up in the world? Once you start asking those questions, it's amazing. The answers will blow you away. Now, I don't know what the answers are because until you ask the question and ask it from a real place of depth, like it's a deep question. You need space around you. Do it in a meditation or something. Don't just kind of do it lightly, but then also do it lightly. So this is what I love. So when I coach people, we go through this, we talk about their values, we work out how they're showing up in the world is how can they do that in a way that aligns with their values so that they're living out their purpose. They're actually in alignment with all of that. And if you are, so you do it in a kind of deep way. And when I work one-on-one with clients, like it is quite a deep meditative process that can be quite long and insightful. Interesting things come up when we do this process about, where are they at? And surprising things. It's like, I didn't realize that I was out of alignment in just that area. I might have been lined up in all these other areas, but here, I'm completely not paying that the attention that it needs. So the next thing I like people to do is once you've done it in a kind of, in a meditative way, then go and do it lightly, because I like to keep asking this question, just as I'm standing in line at the grocery store or as I'm, driving. Driving is a beautiful place to ask yourself these questions, because I find that driving is one of those times where, there's literally nothing else that you can be doing. You're not going to be checking your phone. Well, you shouldn't be. You're not going to be needing to be anywhere except for, especially if it's like a long drive. And you can just get into some really beautiful places. But just start asking yourself that question, how am I out of alignment? And what would it look like if I showed up with more alignment? How would that actually be? So yeah, you like that? Try it out. It is actually a very surprising, some of the answers that come out. Certainly when I've worked with people, they've been like, oh, and when I've done it with myself as well, it's been like surprising. Sometimes you get things you're not expected, but other times you're like, oh yes, like I am so in the right place doing the right thing. And that can be a fabulous validation if you are wondering like is this the right thing? And you have that question, especially if it's going against what, society or like your mother or whatever is thinking. You do this process and then you're like, oh my goodness, I am living my purpose, and you have utter conviction. And then what happens is when you show up, you are so productive. Your creativity is just boom, 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 just banging, just turned on in all the ways. It's just lit up like a Christmas tree. And it feels effortless. And this is the thing. I often get people saying to me, but like, can it be this easy? Like, is it meant to be this easy? And that's the surprising thing. It is. It's meant to be this easy. Isn't that a cool thing? It's meant to be this easy. So If effort has been something that's dogged you, well, time to put it aside and just see where are you out of alignment. Thank you so much for playing with me in the alignment sandbox. It's been awesome sharing this with you, and I look forward to connecting with you again. If you want to do a bit of what we're doing in the group, my group is called Addicted to Alignment, and what we're doing there every day is we're doing playing this little game, which is called Having a Chat with Your Inner Being, and it's where I teach you a technique where you can tap in to your intuition and get incredible insights. You should go and watch the one I did yesterday with Megan. It was amazing because she was like, oh my goodness, like everything lined up that she did. It was kind of like a dream, and yeah, very, very insightful. So see you later. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye.